Hello, it's Bill again, and today I'd like to take a deeper dive into entanglement and explain how entanglement between matter particles causes gravity to emerge. So, in our model, particles have two different types of expressions. There's a host particle, and a host particle has a cosmic horizon, and its spin is encoded on that cosmic horizon. And a host particle is the very center of the cosmic horizon. The cosmic horizon projects the spin energy from that particle all the way from the horizon down into the center of its observable universe, and that creates a matter particle. Now, as well as every other particle in that host particle's universe is encoded as a guest particle on the host particle's cosmic horizon. Now, this is an important relationship, and I've covered it in the entanglement video. But this time we're going to go ahead and entangle a couple of particles and see what happens. So particle A and B are in spin superposition. This means they do not have spin up or spin down. It's sort of both and neither in a way. So when A and B bump into each other, they can't translate spin sign because there is no spin sign. So what they do instead is a little bit of that collision energy becomes entanglement, becomes an entanglement bit of energy. Now this entanglement bit of energy does something interesting. It takes those two particles and it holographically addresses them to the same address. So let's go to host particle A. On host particle A's horizon, there's host A's spin, and there's also guest particles B spin. Now, each one of these particles requires a Planck area of horizon to encode their particle existence. So that would be two Planck areas for that particular setup. You have A and B, so there'd be two Planck areas on A's horizon. Now, B's horizon is the same way. Host B has guest A. So host B and guest A are also have that entanglement energy, so they're also associated. But the trick is the first particle that actually is measured gets to use the entanglement energy. So A and B were in superposition, they interacted, they exchanged an entanglement boson. So now they're addressed to the same address. It's no longer two separate bits on the horizon. You no longer need a separate Planck area for A and a separate Planck area for B. You can actually take the A and B and it addresses it to the same Planck area. So what was information for two Planck areas only requires one Planck area. So when A is measured, that means that the wave function before it was measured had addressed both A and host A and guest B's particle spin as separate entities, but once the wave function was placed by the entanglement, now the entanglement energy addresses those two bits to the same address. So A gets measured, host A and guest B spin become the same piece of information, one horizon Planck area, and because one Planck area was erased, that breaks entanglement from host A particle from its horizon. So what that erased Planck area, that gravitational energy snaps back locally to particle A. So that's how the gravity emerges. Now, if B were measured first, the same thing would happen for B. So if host B was measured first and A and B were entangled, then host B's horizon already has host B and guest A's spin information addressed to the same address. Well, if B is measured first, then that actually happens. Host B and guest A's spin become the same address. They share the same spin sign, and that would break entanglement of one of those horizon bits from host B. So that means that gravity that was relative between host B and its horizon, the horizon entanglement end was severed. So that means that the gravity snaps back locally to B, and that's how gravity emerges. And then when the second particle of the pair is measured, that particle, the guest particle, emits a Hawking photon, and everything conserves that way. So I just wanted to point out that it may not actually be the gravitational energy that sucks A and B together to translate their spins. It's looking like that actually entanglement energy addresses 2 bits to actually be 1 bit. And what causes the cosmic horizon to shrink. And the cosmic horizon shrinking causes the breaking of entanglement from that gravity bit, from its horizon, from its host, causing gravity to snap back to the host particle. Anyway, I highly encourage you to take a look at my playlist. I've got a very deep dive into a lot of different aspects of gravity and the universe. Talk about dark energy, talk about dark matter, talk about special relativity, because these cosmic horizons actually cause dark energy. So in any case, check out my other videos, and thanks for watching, and like and subscribe, and remember, gravity is for the masses. Have a great day.